My beloved child, gather your thoughts into stillness at this very moment, because the heaviness you have carried in recent days may be signaling that an old season is coming to an end and that a new door is being prepared to open. Do not immediately interpret every stirring within you as a bad omen, and do not allow speculation to drive you into fear. Sometimes the heart becomes heavy because it has waited too long, because questions remain unanswered, and because hope has been tested to its limits again and again. Yet you must also be gentle with yourself. If the discomfort in your chest continues, becomes severe, or is accompanied by unusual symptoms, seek the care you need. True faith does not ask you to neglect your safety. Within the deeper meaning of this journey, I want you to understand that God's silence does not mean his absence. Often, it is a protective veil covering something whose time of revelation has not yet come. You have prayed for an answer for many years, yet what you received appeared to be nothing but empty silence. That silence sometimes hurt more than an outright refusal, because when you heard nothing, you began filling the emptiness with harsh conclusions. You thought you had been forgotten, that your prayers merely echoed back from four walls, or that God was answering everyone except you. But I have come to correct that belief. You have not been ignored. Some things have not yet been revealed because, had you known them too early, you might have tried to force them to happen through your own strength, shared them with the wrong people, entered before you possessed enough wisdom, or allowed pride to damage something precious. What you call delay is sometimes protection. The door has remained hidden not to punish you, but to guard what lies behind it until you are mature enough to enter without losing your peace. Throughout that time, you looked at your life and compared it with the beautiful promises you had heard, and you could not understand why the two seemed never to meet. You watched others move faster, be chosen earlier, and receive opportunities more easily. Some did not appear to endure long nights of prayer or fight with themselves as deeply as you did. Yet they still received recognition, healthy relationships, and an open road. Meanwhile, although you tried to live with integrity, forgave when you wanted to retaliate, gave even when you were lacking, and remained patient until you were nearly exhausted, you still felt trapped in the same room of life. I know that comparison wounded you. It made you begin to wonder whether faithfulness was useless and whether kindness only gave others an opportunity to walk over you. There were evenings when you arrived home but did not want to go inside. You sat alone, your hands still holding the steering wheel, staring into the darkness before you while trying to stop the tears from falling. No one was there to hear the question. You were afraid to speak aloud. Does God truly see me? You feared that asking such a question was a sign of weak faith. So you hid it from everyone and even tried to hide it from yourself. But, my child, an honest question does not cause God to move away from you. He is not offended by your exhaustion. He knows that sometimes you felt like nothing more than one small name among countless others. Loved in a general way, but not personally known. You believed every good principle seemed to work for other people. Yet when your turn came, everything stopped. I want you to know that the feeling is real, but the explanation fear has given you is not true. You are not broken, nor are you an unfortunate person abandoned at the edge of the road. Your journey is different because you are being trained to open a path that no one in your family, community, or generation has walked before. A pioneer often takes longer because they are not traveling only for themselves. They must learn the landscape, Dismantle old cycles and create a road stable enough for others to follow. Those who walk upon a road already cleared may arrive more quickly, but the one opening the way must face sharp stones, thick undergrowth, and stretches where no footprints exist. Therefore, do not use their speed to judge the value of your journey. Moving more slowly does not mean you are inferior. Sometimes it reveals that the work entrusted to you is deeper than the eye can see. For this reason, the isolation you feel is not always punishment. There are seasons when God removes you from the noise so that you can hear something more subtle. He separates you from dependence upon applause so that you may know who you are even when no one celebrates you. He allows familiar sources of comfort to become powerless, not to drive you into despair, but so that you will stop building your identity upon the way others treat you. Within that quiet place, you begin to recognize the habits that caused you to surrender authority to fear, the relationships that survived only because you were always the one making sacrifices, and the false beliefs that convinced you that you had to become exhausted before you deserved love. What is being repaired within you is no less important than what you hope to see changed outside you. I also want you to recognize the weapons commonly used to make you give up. The first is comparison, which makes you look at another person's harvest and despise your own seed. Next comes doubt, turning every silent day into false evidence that you have been abandoned. Then comes exhaustion, tempting you to make major decisions while your mind is too weary to see clearly. After that comes unhealthy isolation, convincing you that no one can understand and that you do not need to seek help. Another weapon is guilt, which continually repeats old mistakes even after you have sincerely changed. Then comes impatience, urging you to seize any door simply to escape the waiting. Finally comes bitterness, the most dangerous of all, because it can allow you to receive what you wanted while leaving you too hardened to enjoy it. To protect your future, you must build an inner refuge through small but consistent choices. Keep immature plans private until they are strong enough to withstand the opinions of others. Do not give the secrets of your new season to people who mocked your season of waiting. Care for your sleep, health, finance, and relationships with discipline, because even a great promise requires an orderly person capable of carrying it. Do not consider preparation inferior to a miracle. Preparation creates the vessel able to hold what will be poured into it. If you are given more without wisdom, what appeared to be a blessing can quickly become a burden. Therefore, do not try to break down the door through impatience. Becoming an exceptional case does not mean that every principle will be abolished so that you can receive blind favoritism. It means that God can open a road no one predicted, use a source of provision you never knew existed, and lift you beyond the limitations your past imposed upon you. However, He will not do this to feed your pride. The new door will open when you are humble enough to walk through without looking down upon those who are still waiting, wise enough to manage what you receive, and compassionate enough to turn abundance into support for others. What makes your story extraordinary is not that you are higher than everyone else, but that your life will prove the past does not possess the authority to determine the ending. My child, remain alert. Do not allow impressive promises to make you chase signs, numbers, or urgent instructions that frighten you into believing you will lose your blessing unless you act immediately. What comes from God does not need to manipulate your panic. True guidance carries clarity, peace, and responsibility, even when it requires courage. Test everything by the fruit it produces. Does it make you more honest, compassionate, disciplined, and aligned with goodness? If it does, continue. If it makes you fearful, dependent, or so emotionally overwhelmed that you lose the ability to think clearly, step back and return to stillness. Now take a deep breath and release what you cannot control. The change you have been waiting for is not merely an outward event. It began the moment you stopped calling yourself abandoned. You are learning to see silence as a season of preparation, difference as training, and delay through more mature eyes. I do not promise that you will never face another trial, but I remind you that trials will no longer have the right to define you. Continue with steadiness, because what was once hidden is gradually being brought into the light. When the time arrives, you will understand that God never forgot the code to your life. He simply waited until your heart became strong enough to open the door without returning to the person you once were. My beloved child, continuing to walk beside someone who is wounded always has a cost. And sometimes that cost leaves you so weary that you want to let go. There are nights when you cannot sleep because you are thinking about them. Conversations in which you must carefully consider every word so that you do not deepen their wounds. And moments when you wonder why you should continue when nothing seems to change. I understand how carrying concern for someone over a long period can weigh heavily upon your shoulders. I also know there were times when you prayed in silence, looked into the emptiness, and wondered whether your words were being heard. But remember that not one sincere act of love has been forgotten. Every time you chose patience instead of anger, every time you stayed to listen instead of turning away, and every time you swallowed an accusation so that you could speak more gently. All of it was seen. No one can count all the tears you hid, but I know every tear fell because you wanted someone to be healed and find the way home. Sincere sacrifice does not always produce immediate results. When a seed is planted, it disappears beneath dark soil, and the one who planted it may believe it has been lost. Yet in the place no one can see, life has quietly begun. What you have done for that person is the same. Perhaps today they have not responded, understood your heart, or may even have answered with coldness or resistance. However, a timely word may remain within them for a long time before becoming an awakening. An act of kindness may be ignored today, but return to their memory on the day they feel most alone. One moment when you refuse to abandon them may become proof that they are still worthy of love, even when they no longer believe it themselves. Therefore, do not use present silence to conclude that all your efforts are useless. Some harvests come slowly, not because the seed has died, but because the roots need time to grow deeper. I want you to imagine the day when that person begins to emerge from the darkness that has held them for so long. Imagine their eyes no longer clouded by despair, their voice no longer trembling beneath shame, and their posture no longer bowed under the weight of the past. You will watch them gradually recognize their own worth, learn to take responsibility for their choices, and become courageous enough to move toward what is good. Perhaps this transformation will not happen in one brilliant moment, but through many small steps: a sincere apology, a decision to leave an old habit, a moment when they open their heart, or a day when they willingly seek help. When this happens, you will understand that your steady presence was once a lamp beside their road. You did not create every change, But your faithfulness helped them see that another path still existed. Even so, you must clearly distinguish between loving someone and assuming responsibility for their life. I have not called you to rescue them through your own strength, nor do I want you to carry the results of every choice they make. You can show the way, but you cannot force them to walk. You can open a door, but you cannot drag them across the threshold while they continue clinging to the old room. You can speak truth with compassion, but you cannot compel them to believe it. If they continue running from the light, that does not prove that you have failed. Your task is to remain honest with the calling placed within your heart. Plant what is good, support them within healthy limits, and leave everything else in my hands. When you try to control the outcome, love easily becomes exhaustion. When you release what does not belong to you, love returns to its original purity. Some people change quickly when they receive love, while others must stumble repeatedly before they are willing to look honestly at themselves. They may make promises and forget them, move one step forward and 2 steps back, making you feel that every spark of hope has been extinguished. During such moments, remember that growth does not follow a straight line. Yet patience does not mean tolerating abuse, dishonesty, or behavior that continually harms you. I am not telling you to remain in a place that is destroying your peace, dignity, and health. Sometimes standing in the gap means praying from a safe distance. Sometimes love means saying no, closing a door, or allowing the other person to face necessary consequences. Boundaries do not betray compassion. They protect compassion from becoming blind indulgence. Therefore, examine your motives whenever you choose to continue. Are you staying because love is guiding you, or because you fear being considered a bad person? Are you helping them grow, or are you unintentionally helping them avoid responsibility? Are you listening to a peaceful calling, or merely reacting to shame and guilt? These questions are not intended to make you doubt yourself, but to keep your service pure. When you help someone from freedom, you can give without demanding that they respond in the way you desire. When you help them from fear, you will always feel wounded if they fail to change. I want you to love with an open heart that also possesses wisdom, knowing when to speak, when to remain silent, when to draw near, and when to step back so that both of you have room to mature. This mission is not only about changing that person, it is also quietly transforming you. Through the journey of walking beside them, you are learning that compassion is not a temporary emotion, but a disciplined choice. You are learning how to speak truth without using it as a weapon, how to forgive without denying wrongdoing, and how to be patient without losing yourself. You are also recognizing the places within you that remain vulnerable, the needs you once concealed, and the limits you must respect. Perhaps in the past you always tried to repair everyone because you feared feeling powerless. Perhaps you became so accustomed to being needed that you believed your worth depended upon your ability to solve other people's problems. But now, I am teaching you a more mature way to love. You can care deeply while still allowing others to take responsibility for their own path. The day you stop forcing the outcome is the day you begin to rest. You can still pray, support, and keep your heart open, but you no longer need to remain awake through the night trying to control something only the other person can choose. Return them to me whenever your thoughts begin spinning. Say quietly that you have done your part with honesty and love. While the work of growth does not lie within your power, In doing so, you are not abandoning them. You are placing them where help can reach deeper than your own ability. I can touch them in moments when you are not present, using a circumstance, another person, or a sudden awakening to stir something that has slept for a long time. And if one day you witness their transformation, rejoice, but do not make yourself the center of their story. Your role is precious, but the source of healing is greater than you. Let their transformation become a testimony of mercy, patience, and the possibility of beginning again. If what you hope for has not yet arrived, do not condemn yourself. Your faithfulness is not measured by the speed at which they change, but by the integrity with which you loved them. You do not need to prove that you saved someone in order to validate your calling. The fact that you dared to stand near pain, plant hope, and return that person to me when you reached your limit already shows that you are growing. Continue walking with open hands, neither grasping nor controlling, and do not carry burdens that are not yours. Your part is to plant with love, nurture with wisdom, and trust that what is good will grow in the right season, in the right way, and at the right time. Do not allow doubt to enter quietly and steal your faith in the person I am calling you to become. My beloved child, when a new door begins to open, the voice of fear often appears before you have even placed your foot across the threshold. It will remind you of previous failures, magnify everything you still lack, and convince you that the opportunity ahead is too great for your present ability. It will tell you that such good things cannot be meant for you, that you need many more years of preparation, or that someone else is more deserving. But calm your heart and remember my words. Insecurity is not always a sign that you are walking in the wrong direction. Sometimes it is merely the reaction of the person you once were upon realizing that they cannot accompany you into the new season. You were not called because you already possess every ability you will need, but because you have a heart willing to learn, grow, and obey what is right. When I place a responsibility before you, I will also provide the lessons, people, and resources needed to fulfill it. I may not give everything in one day, because if you could see the entire path from the beginning, you would depend only upon what your eyes could control. I will guide you one step at a time so that wisdom develops together with the journey. Therefore, do not consider what you do not yet know as evidence that you are incapable. No one begins a great mission in a state of completion. A wise person is not someone who knows everything, but someone humble enough to learn what they do not know and courageous enough to apply what they have just learned. I want you to look at yourself with gentler eyes. You are not a mistake trying to prove that you possess value. You are a work being cared for, repaired, and completed through every season. Unfinished details do not destroy the beauty of the whole. Former failures cannot erase the good qualities placed within you. Some things you once considered weaknesses are now becoming sources of strength. Your sensitivity helps you recognize hidden pain. Years of loneliness taught you to treasure sincere presence, and being misunderstood taught you to treat others more carefully. You are a unique creation, not because you stand above anyone else, but because no one can completely replace your voice, your experience, or the way you bring kindness into this world. What is coming to you may be greater than what you once dared to hope for, but you must receive it with wisdom rather than emotion alone. Abundance does not necessarily appear as a sudden flood of money entering your life. It may begin with a timely idea, a developed skill, a job that requires you to leave your comfort zone, or a more mature decision about managing finances. I can open doors, but you must still walk through them with preparation, honesty, and discipline. Learn to preserve small things before expecting greater ones. Fulfill the obligations you are able to fulfill. Stop spending merely to soothe your emotions, and distinguish between a genuine opportunity and a beautiful promise without a foundation. Blessing is not intended to make you showy. It helps you live more freely, serve more generously, and become a place where others can find support. The right relationships are also gradually being formed around you, but I want you to receive them with awakened eyes. A person sent to walk beside you will not always say what you enjoy hearing, but they will respect your dignity, boundaries, and purpose. They will not compete with your growth, continually force you to prove your worth, or use affection as a tool of control. Some old connections will be restored when both people become honest and willing to change, while others will need greater distance so that peace can return. Do not call every encounter destiny simply because it arrives when you are lonely. Allow time to reveal intention, consistency to prove words, and fruit to show whether a relationship truly brings goodness into your life. I am also reminding you to return to caring for your health and peace. Perhaps you have endured for so long that exhaustion feels normal. Or you continue working even after your body has repeatedly signaled the need for rest. My beloved child, strength is not found in ignoring every limitation. True strength is knowing when to move forward and when to pause for restoration. Sleep enough. Nourish yourself with what is wholesome. Move your body regularly. And seek professional support when unusual symptoms persist. Do not regard seeking care as a sign of weak faith. I can bring healing through many paths, including knowledge, the devoted hands of others, and small changes you faithfully practice each day. Imagine my provision not only as a river bringing material things to your feet, but as a flowing stream of wisdom, strength, opportunity, and the right companions. Sometimes you receive what you need through advice that awakens you. Sometimes provision appears as a closed door, protecting you from a decision that could bring long-term consequences. Sometimes I do not immediately give what you request, because I am developing within you the capacity to manage it. My river is not always loud. It may flow deeply and quietly beneath days that appear ordinary. Therefore, do not search only for dramatic signs. Recognize the goodness coming through every opportunity to learn, every wise decision, and every morning when you are still able to rise and begin again. The time has come for action. But action does not mean chasing every door that begins to open. Before entering a new career path, research carefully, prepare your abilities, and consider what you may need to sacrifice. Before making a bold decision, ask whether it arises from peace or from impatience to escape your present situation. When an idea repeatedly returns, write it down, divide it into small steps, and begin with the resources already available to you. You do not need to wait until tomorrow to do what belongs to today. But neither should you rush into something untested because you are afraid of missing out. Courage and discernment must walk together. When separated, courage easily becomes recklessness, while caution can turn into delay. You do not need to write a number in a comment section to prove that you are ready. I do not measure your faith by an action performed upon a screen. And the goodness in your life is not determined by whether you interact with a particular message. The strongest declaration is how you live when no one is watching. You keep your promises. Complete unfinished work? Apologize when you recognize that you were wrong. And continue moving, even without applause. If you wish to mark this moment, write down one specific action you will take today. Perhaps there is a phone call to make, an application to finish, a conversation to begin, or an old habit to stop. Faith becomes alive when it has feet. The fire within you appeared very early. Perhaps even as a child, you sensed that you saw life more deeply, noticed what others easily overlooked, or carried a stirring you could not yet name. This does not make you more important than others. It gives you greater responsibility in the way you use your sensitivity. If you feel deeply, use that gift to understand rather than judge. If you possess vision, learn how to build rather than merely speak about it. If you can inspire others, use your words to help them rise rather than make them dependent upon you. A gift becomes useful only when placed beneath discipline, humility, and a desire to serve. The world may attempt to convince you that absolute safety is the highest goal. But you were not created to remain forever inside a cocoon of fear. This does not mean you must constantly seek danger or abandon everything stable. It means you must not allow fear of failure to prevent you from living according to the goodness planted within you. Remember Esther. She did not act because she wanted to be seen, but because remaining silent in that moment could have caused many people to suffer. Her courage did not come from being without fear, but from recognizing a purpose greater than her fear. The same is true of you. There will be times when you must speak, times when you must step forward, and times when you must choose a more difficult but truthful road. This moment can become a turning point. But that turning point will not be created by strong declarations alone. It is formed when you stop returning to old patterns. The person once burdened by fear fades each time you act in truth. The new person rises whenever you preserve your boundaries. Choose peace, and refuse to allow the past to govern your future. Walk with courage, but do not lose your gentleness. Believe in the goodness ahead, but continue working faithfully with what is already in your hands. I am not calling you to live in the illusion that everything will become perfect immediately. I am calling you to become someone capable of preserving light through imperfect days. You are being renewed, and every faithful step you take today will gradually reveal the radiant person I have seen within you from the very beginning.